Good morning. I just wanted to show something I noticed this morning while looking at some Rider-Waite Smith decks. I guess I should say Waite Smith. I don't know. But first off, I don't think that shows up with the light on very well, so I turn it off. I live about there. So I'll turn this back on. But anyway, let me get this junk out of the way. My thought was this is like a card scene investigation. Not really, and not very clever, and probably not very interesting to most people. So I get all these forensic tools out of the way here, and we'll use this in a second. But what I noticed, and you'll see here in a minute, is that on these different varieties of cards, these are all pretty much the same, the ones from US Games. And what I'm referring to is the cliff area, and the fact that of the 78 cards, the Fool is the only one where you can't find Pamela Pixie's signature. Although some people say it's in the cliff face, sideways, all these other things. Like I say, this is silliness. But anyway, but if you look over here for AGM and the big old deluxe edition cards, which have the cool back, by the way, compared to what? Why? I don't know. But I'm used to that. That's what I grew up with. But that's okay. Well, not all the time. There were other designs, but that's okay. There's a tad bit more cliff face, but not much, and it's a little darker. But here, and the one from Lo Scarabeo, which is why I'm calling this Sneaky Scarab, because I think I found her signature in there, possibly. I could be exaggerating, of course, but you can see you got a lot more cliff face in there, and what appears to be taller, altered mountain faces back here, mountain peaks, whatever you want to call them. And we won't go into the typography and the font and all that jazz, because that doesn't matter. We're just looking for that signature. And then here's the Pam's Vintage Tarot by Lucky Card. And you can see here we get even more of the mountain scenery, and the peaks pretty much match the other cards, but we got even more of the cliff face here. And I need to do a zoom in on this one, as you'll see here in a second. I didn't catch that until this morning. That's what these backs look like, in case you're curious. Get that out of the way. There are the backs. Okay. Now, at this point, I think I need to lose this light. Okay. And that'll make it darker, but that's okay, because the thing I'm about to turn on has its own little light. And it may not show up very well. I'm not sure. Ugh. These things they put them in. I don't want to show that. There. Okay, now let's see if I can do this with this giant microphone in the way. We'll go to a thing that I like for doodling. This was a gift from my son, both of these things, because I set aside money every year for new computer and camera and junk like that, but only since I've retired. But and the kids have grown up and don't need me anymore, that kind of thing. But he got me this because he knew I was taking a year off from computers and cameras so I could buy cards. I haven't even really gotten halfway through that budget, because cards don't cost as much as junk like this. This is like $100, this little pencil. But what I'm about to show is like $9. I think it's $10. Something called Procreate. But it's for doodling, or I consider it to be for doodling. and it's kind of nice because it's got all these brushes. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. So here I took this card from the Lo Scarabeo Pamela Colman Smith RWS tarot deck, at least the moody one. I don't know what else to call it. It's shaded and darker. So let's look at that and look at what you can do with just your fingers. Isn't that amazing? I think that's amazing. That's just me. Let's get the words off of there and just get the card big. Obviously my picture was crooked and I'm already showing it and I don't want to. Go off. No, off. Wow, this is hard to do upside down, kind of upside down. But that's this card, kind of blown up a lot. In fact, we can blow it up even more. So let's do that. Here, down here at the cliff face, below the dog is where I think I see it. We'll turn that, these are called layers. We'll turn that layer on. This is basically how you can draw. But on and off, I see a P. You know how she does the long, curvy, even though she does it different ways at different times. On different cards, you can see the P and a line and then a C, and then maybe my mind's exaggerating this S a little bit, but I think it's there, and there's always a dot. She always has that dot thing going. So I think I see it. Now whether I see it on the Pam's Vintage Tarot, I don't know. I'd have to take a photo. This photo's taken with the iPad Pro thing here. I'll zoom in some more. Isn't that amazing? I think that's, I don't know. That's just me. It'll take a while on this particular picture before it starts to become pixelated. As in you're so close that all you can see is little squares, because one of the downsides to doing drawing on a device like this is it's raster, not vector, and on top of that, if you ignore those two digital ways of doing things, I think there's another one, but if you just do it on paper, you don't suffer any of this. And paper's never, for me anyway, paper, pencil, and pen is never going to be replaced by this thing. But this is nice in terms of portability and all the stuff that you get. I'll just make a layer and show you one thing real quick. There's a new layer. Let's go pick a color. We like lime, right? Let's pick a wacky brush. Where is it? Luminance. How about a light brush? And then if we just circle around the dog, say, oh, I messed up. Look how easy that is to take back. You just tap two fingers. This is me going past what I intended to do. Look at that. I just think it's cool, but that's me. Let's take that layer and get rid of it. Gone. Well, almost. So let's put back what we were doing before. And there's the signature, and I'll shrink in. But that's all I wanted to show. I've probably rambled on for too long, but it's just something I noticed. Now I'm going to go back and probably take a picture of Pam's Vintage Tarot and see if it's in there as well. Or is Lo Scarabeo aware of all this that people talk about and have snuck it in, or snuck in something that kind of looks like it might be her signature, just to tinker with you? And you know, there's like that tradition in tarot where things are a little off or a little odd or a little whatever you want to call it, mysterious maybe. But that's just something I noticed and I wanted to share. And since I have a channel that I don't care about subscribe, well, I care, but it doesn't matter. I'm not selling anything, so it doesn't matter if I have subscribers or likes or dislikes or any of that. I can just kind of have fun and share. That's all I'm doing. And there are some other channels out there that I keep stumbling across that have a similar attitude, and I'm enjoying those. So with that, I will say peace.